Hello and welcome back to Mulesoft developer training from my channel ZeroToSiva. This is Siv Prasad Valluru. You are in day 7. Congratulations on successfully completing up to day 6. Okay, so in day 6, you understood about how to deploy your applications on standalone Mule runtime and how to manage your runtimes using Runtime Manager. Today, we are going to understand about deployments to Mulesoft's cloud called as Cloudhub. We'll understand at a high level what is this Cloudhub and how to deploy your applications onto cloud. But if you are totally new to cloud, I have created next videos, which are actually optional for a Mulesoft developer training. But I want you to visualize everything step by step. So if you are new to cloud, or if you want to know actually how clouds work in detail, go through the next few videos in day 7, which are optional. Okay, so let us get started with what is this cloud and what is this Cloud Hub. So when I talk about clouds, there are different kinds of clouds based on the functionality they offer. One is infrastructure as a service cloud, platform as a service cloud, software as a service cloud. Infrastructure as service means they provide a virtual infrastructure as a service on demand. For example, AWS, Amazon Web Services, or Azure from Microsoft, or Google Cloud Platform, GCP. So these are the infrastructure providers. And platform as service providers. For example, Pivotal, Cloud Foundry, OpenShift. Like this, these are the examples of PaaS. And actually, Mulesoft also comes under this. Mulesoft's cloud also comes under this PaaS, platform as a service. So Mulesoft has its own cloud called as Cloud Hub that comes under PaaS, platform as service. So now let us concentrate on what is this Cloud Hub and how is it actually different than other clouds. Okay. So first of all, let's assume that you want to deploy your application on Amazon. Excuse me. You want to deploy your applications on AWS. What you should do, first of all, if you want to deploy your Mule application on AWS, what you should do is on Amazon. Amazon has their data centers in multiple regions, is it? So you have to decide in which region you want to start your Mule runtime and in which zone you want to start your Mule runtime. So what you have to do is you have to actually create a VPC. In your organization, your administrator can actually create a virtual private cloud. If you don't know what is VPC, you will understand in next videos clearly about the concepts of clouds, VPCs, networking, etc. But at a high level, understand this right now. On AWS, what you need to do is you need to first create a VPC, virtual private cloud. Okay. Then actually under VPC, what we do is we create multiple networks or sub networks. There will be one network which you need to create, and you can create multiple subnets. Okay. Then what you can do, you can launch a virtual machine. In AWS terminology, we call it as EC2, Elastic Cloud Compute. You can spin up a virtual machine on one of the subnet, and you can install Java on top of it, because for running Mule, you need Java. Then on top of it, you can install Mule. Then if you have developed your application on your machine, once you build, you'll get a jar file. Assume that my application jar is a.jar. You copy this a.jar onto this machine. Then this virtual machine is having some state. It is containing Java, Mule, a.jar. You will save the state of this virtual machine, and you'll create an image. Okay, you will save the state and you'll create an image. Image will be stored on AWS. Then you can destroy this VM. Once the image is created, this VM can be destroyed. Then what you can do, once you have your application image, which has Mule runtime, Java, and everything, using this image in AWS, you can launch a virtual machine anywhere. So maybe you can launch multiple instances, 2 here and 2 here of your application. So 3 VMs are created, and in 3 VMs, your application instance is running. Okay, good. You have 3 instances of your application running on AWS cloud. Then you have to configure a load balancer in a public network. Let's assume that these two are private subnets and this is a public subnet. So you have to configure a load balancer in the public network so that whatever traffic comes to load balancer, the load balancer can distribute the traffic to all of your instances. Oh, to run your application on AWS, you need to do all these things. Too much. So actually, AWS is providing infrastructure as a service, IaaS. What it can do, it can create infrastructure on demand. It can create a virtual machine, virtual private clouds, virtual networks, virtual subnetworks, gateways, etc. So it can create infrastructure, but you need to create this infrastructure. You need to create a VPC, you need to create subnets, you need to create a VM, you need to install Java, Mule, everything and copy, create an image, etc. Too much, right? It will be good if I can just upload my jar, and if everything happens behind the scenes, it will be good, right? Instead of me creating all this, what all I do is I just upload my jar. Everything, whatever I explained, will be done automatically. So there comes platform as a service. This is also a type of cloud. For this cloud, we just need to upload our jar files or application files. This platform as a service will take care of doing whatever I have told you automatically. So basically, this provides a platform where I can just push my applications and the application will get started automatically. If the application is down, it will take care of restarting the applications, and it can guarantee the high availability as well. So basically, generally speaking, we can use platform as a service provider, not only for Mule, for Java, Python, Ruby, etc. If you just push your Python application, the platform will understand, oh, this is a Python application. So it will prepare a virtual machine which contains Python environment and then start your Python application there. If I just upload a Mule application, this platform should be able to understand, oh, this is a Mule application. So it should create a virtual machine with Mule inside it automatically. So that is the duty of a PaaS. If you are using a plain infrastructure provider, you need to do all this. Creating VPCs, subnets, virtual machine instances, create an image, configure load balancer, etc. But with platform as a service, it provides you the entire platform for running and deploying your application. You just need to upload your jar. That's all. You are done, right? So actually in Mule, they have created their own platform as a service. called as Cloudhub. That is the name which they have given. Actually, in Mule, we call it as IPaaS. It is a platform as service for integration application, integration platform as a service. So actually, we say that Cloudhub is a integration platform as a service. Okay, so that's an introduction about what is Cloudhub. Okay, in Mule, they wanted to actually develop Cloudhub as a platform as a service. But whenever I upload my jar to Cloudhub is a PaaS, platform as a service. Whenever I upload my jar to Cloudhub, it needs infrastructure, right? It needs to create virtual machines, VPCs, and all. So Mulesoft decided, hey, we will not actually have our own infrastructure provider. We will use AWS as our infrastructure provider. So internally, Cloudhub uses AWS, Amazon Web Services, as its infrastructure as service provider. So this I want you to understand. Now, let us see how to actually use Cloudhub, how to deploy applications on Cloudhub. Then we'll understand what is actually happening behind the scenes. Okay, so I have this application, first app, whatever we have created earlier. We earlier deployed this to standalone Mule runtime as well. Now I'm going to deploy it to Cloudhub. So there are multiple ways to deploy. I will tell you the basic way. So first, what I will do is I'll log into my Anypoint platform account. Yeah, I logged in. See my organization name while signing up. I gave as ZeroToSiva. Fine, I logged in. Now, I will go to Runtime Manager. Then, very simple now. I just have to click on Deploy. And deploy to what? Recently, Cloudhub 2.0 was also introduced. We will discuss about Cloudhub 2.0 a little later, but let us talk about Cloudhub. You have to select deployment target is Cloudhub. Earlier, do you remember? We selected under hybrid, we selected my local server. But now my deployment target is Cloudhub. What all we have to do is now just upload the jar. So I have my jar, firstapp.jar, which I have exported earlier from my studio. So I want to deploy it. What all I will do is simply choose file, upload. And in desktop, I have my firstapp.jar. I can give an application name. This name has to be unique. So I'll give my app. See, this application name is not unique. Why the application name has to be unique? You'll understand in few more minutes. Okay, I have to make sure that application name is unique. So what I will do is I'll give my app 2023. Yep, this is available. So I gave a unique name. Then here under runtime tab, I have to select which version of runtime, Mule runtime version. Okay, I'll select the latest version. Then what is a worker size? What is a worker in cloud terminology? The virtual machine in which our application is going to run is called as a worker. Worker is equal to virtual machine in this context. Okay. So here you can see what is the worker size. I can select whatever worker size I want. I want a virtual machine with 0.1 vCores and 500 MB. Hey, remember this vCores are not equal to actual cores on our CPUs. These are virtual cores. Virtual cores are different than actual cores. Okay, and the meaning of vCore, how much it is, what is the capacity, it depends upon the cloud type. On AWS, one vCore might be equal to a different meaning, and on Azure, one vCore might be having a different meaning. So we are on Amazon. So I'll select right now 0.1 vCore of CPU I want and 500 MB. And how many such workers? Suppose if I want 3 instances of my application to run, I just have to select 3. That's all. I'll get 3 instances automatically created. Okay. So I just have to select it here. There are other options like what is this object store v2, etc. We will discuss. Then during deployment, if you want to pass any environment variables, you can pass key value pairs in this properties tag. And if you want to customize the logging behavior of your application, if you want to enable, let us say, debug level logs for any package, you can do so here. So right now, I'm not doing anything. I'm just selecting the runtime, the worker size, and I gave application name. Now I'll just click on deploy. So what is happening right now? Through runtime manager, I have uploaded my jar. So the Cloudhub, actually what it will do, it will provision a virtual machine on Amazon. So you can see the logs actually. You can see on the console, these are the logs. I'm in logs folder. You can see the logs. Right now you can see first application is queued to be deployed. Deploying to one worker in US East 2 region. So deploying your application to one worker. One worker means one virtual machine. In US East 2 region, as I told you, Amazon AWS has data centers across multiple regions in the world. It is getting deployed to US East 2 region. It is provisioning the worker. And you can see starting Cloudhub worker at this IP. So provisioning a VM will take a little bit of time. We just have to wait. Once that is done, okay, once the provisioning is done, how to access the application? Let us see. I'll click on applications and I'll go back. Here you can see my app 2023. Target type is Cloudhub. It is deploying. Let it take some time. So here is the URL. This is the URL of your application which you are going to hit to access your application. So I'll actually go to here. This is the URL. And I think this is the URL which I used earlier also to hit application locally. Now I will just give the rest of the URL /. So I should be able to hit. I'll give a request. Sending the request. I guess still the application is getting deployed. It will take some time. But in the meantime, let me explain you what is happening behind the scenes. Okay, gateway timed out. That's okay. Application is still getting deployed. Now let us try to understand what is happening. So once I uploaded, what happened actually? Assume that this is Amazon. Cloudhub is internally using Amazon as its infrastructure provider. And in Amazon, what Mulesoft has done is they have created a VPC. Already they have created a VPC. Mulesoft has created a virtual private cloud, and they have multiple subnetworks, some public subnetworks, private subnetworks, etc. And whenever I uploaded my jar, what Cloudhub has done? Cloudhub is creating a virtual machine in one of the subnet, and it is going to start your Mule application here. Fine. What Mulesoft also has done is, Mulesoft has created one load balancer. We call it as a shared load balancer, and it is mapped to a domain star.cloudhub.io. So any request matching this pattern will come to this load balancer. So actually, what is my application URL? You can see my app name dot region name. It is deployed to US East 2, right? If you remember, US-East 2 .cloudhub.io. So this URL is matching the pattern, right? Whenever I hit this URL, the request will actually go to the load balancer. So the URL what I gave is my application name, my app 2023 dot us-east2, right? us-e2 dot cloudhub.io. The request comes to this load balancer. The load balancer understands, okay, I have to route this request to this app with this name. So it will route the request here. The load balancer will route. Suppose if I'm having my application deployed on multiple workers, this load balancer will take care of load balancing the request across this multiple requests. So we don't need to do anything, right? So Cloudhub has already done it. Now, let us go ahead and see if the application is deployed. Now it is saying that application is started. But here the status is saying still deploying. Sometimes it might be a browser problem. I'll just go and refresh now. Let us see. Hey, now you can see status is started. Here also started. Now let me go to Postman and give a request. Hey, I got it. Same response, whatever I used to get whenever I did a local deployment. But now I have hit the Cloudhub URL, right? So this is what is happening, and this is how you can deploy your application to Cloudhub. But there are a lot of terminology like VPC, subnetworks, load balancer, etc. If you are new to cloud, refer to my next optional videos where I have clearly described. There is a lot more to learn about Cloudhub, but this is just an introduction. In future videos, you'll be actually getting more in-depth knowledge about Cloudhub. So you understood how to deploy your application onto Cloudhub. So we are done with actually day 7 agenda, but optionally, you can go through the next videos. So the length of the videos might be bigger, but I highly recommend you to go through those next videos to understand clearly about networking, clouds, etc. And for this day, you can actually go through my GitHub. GitHub location will be in the comments section of the video. You can go to my GitHub and you can see under day 7 folder, you will see a lab document. You can follow that lab document and deploy your application to Cloudhub. Okay, see you next video.